was very surreal. I was going to wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. to head straight to Cotonou, have a quick breakfast, and then head out to Lomé, and from Lomé to Ghana. I've done that trip too many times, and it's something I love to do, especially on Sundays, because there will be no traffic. So, but unfortunately, the night before, I had all my international papers, but then I asked my driver for the vehicle particulars, and he only had the photocopy. I wasn't comfortable with that. I searched everywhere, my 2 offices in Lagos. I searched in the night, and maybe around 11 or thereabouts, I decided that, look, we must abort the trip. I called my friend, Tinubu. We were traveling together. The man who speaks French and lives in Benin Republic is actually from Benin, and Alex Damilda was already in town to accompany us through the journey. Then, when I couldn't get the papers, I called everybody in the middle of the night and said, I'm sorry, we won't be able to make the trip. And that was what saved us. I was born in an Adura church, so I believe in spirituality. And I believe that somehow God must have intervened, because we would have been right inside Benin Republic at the time this melodrama was ongoing, and my car has Nigerian plate number, so which means easily I'll be identified within the community. But as God will have it, we missed that. I'm happy that they were able to foil the coup, and someone who had fought the military dictatorship in the past in my own country. It was a welcome development. When I escaped from Nigeria on July 25th, 1995, I escaped through Seme-Border into Cotonou, from where I went to Lomé, crossed the Aflao border into Ghana, and from Ghana to England, where I will live for the next 3 years. So it's for me, it brought back...
Somebody asked a question and said, is it true that Tinubu authorized bumping of corpse plotters in Benin Republic, that a misplaced purity when he has done nothing to bomb or wipe out terrorists that has killed 10,000 of Nigerians? Sometimes in something is terrible wrong somewhere. Nigeria has shown power, yet her country is bleeding from the activities of terrorists on her people. The power you have that can not save your nation but could instead save other nations. Shame on you, Nigeria. Courage to save your neighbor from fire while your house is burning. A lot of things are happening, like maybe my mouth could hear them, but you could hear them today. Some people said, why can't they deploy all aircraft to fight internal terrorists in Nigeria? That is an eye service of the game. American aircraft has to invade Nigeria without his consent. To me, I don't know what American president is still waiting for. Is it for the whole incident people to die all before they will come, or what? This wrong move by Tinubu further indicates him regarding the activities of terrorists in Nigeria. There are sometimes that you are not that thing, but because of the way you are behaving, they would think that you are, but it is not like that. Anyway, if you save your neighbor and your fire is burning your house, that means your property, is parable, right? A man who is protecting democracy is a neighboring nation by flouting his nation constitution is not democratic. Confusion everywhere. The president is a stooge of France. Benin Republic is another country. Oh yeah, now those talking about America, invasion of another country. The saying is love your neighbor. There is a word saying love your neighbor like you love yourself, not more than yourself. So Tinubu love Republic of Benin, Benin Republic, that is Nigeria. Nigeria go figure out figure out your own stand, because he has to show his love to his neighbor the way he love himself. That means he hasn't loved himself. If he love himself, he will not do what he did. But we did not say for him to do it is not bad, or but at least remove something, remove a stick from your eye before you tell that person to remove dust. I think Tinubu sponsored tourism against Jonathan, and that make it difficult for him to address it in his turn. Who is to be blamed along with Tinubu, the new Minister of Defense or the National Security Advisor? Is Tinubu still the chairman of ECOWAS? I will answer this question. For me, my viewers, my audience will answer it, because I think all Tinubu will need to come and answer it. Is he still the chairman of ECOWAS? We need answer to this question. Hi viewers, thank you for watching, and thank you for watching up to this point. Your love and support keep me going. I mean, I'm really grateful to have you in my platform. Please, if today is your first time come across my platform, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and then turn on your post notification bell so that you get notified each time we drop a new video. It's still your girl in the building, U2 Media. It's all about entertainment, politics, and trending topic. Peace and love always.
I have memories that, I thought, democracy has taken root in Africa, but it seems that we're going backwards, which is very unfortunate. But let's thank God that it was quickly aborted.
Well, I did ask a second question intertwined with that, which is whether or not you have any relationship with the president of Benin Republic, and if you have been able to speak with him.
Oh, no, I have no direct relationship with him, but I do a lot of things in Benin. My job is public relations related. I used to have an office in Cotonou. Of course, I know some of their political leaders and interacted with them. Unfortunately, I don't have any direct relationship with them. I go there like I used to in the past. Yes, I knew most of their leaders and I interacted with them.
So have you been able to speak with those people whom you know, particularly in the political class, to get any feelers of what they made, what actually transpired yesterday?
I think the few people I've spoken to are very shocked. They never expected it because, and I'm being very truthful, the last few times I've been in Cotonou, I've seen a lot of transformation, transfiguration of the country. The country, within a few years under President Talon, has witnessed rapid development. The sort that even sometimes I ask, how did they manage to do this with their limited resources? So he's a gentleman who has done well. The complaints usually amongst the ordinary citizens is that, like we say in Nigeria, stomach infrastructure, we're still very poor. It's not roads we are going to eat. It's not infrastructure that should be prioritized, that there should be social services and all that. So, but I believe he has laid a good foundation for the country, and the military should try and calm down and not destroy that. Because this is going to scare people away. At the moment you start hearing about coups, nobody wants to hear about coups.
Indeed, Benin Republic has now had its democracy for 35 years and counting. And, we've seen, democratic handover of governments from one leader to the other, as opposed to some countries, even along the West African region, where we've seen sit-tight leaders. I'm just a little curious, though. Do you think that in the event, now that this coup has been foiled, does it really spell stability for the shaken country that is our neighbor?
Our president, Patrice Talon, I must tell you, is a very strong leader. Very strong. Maybe comparable to President Paul Kagame of Rwanda. So I believe he's going to clamp down on the coup plotters, and maybe this will further stabilize his country. I don't know. But I pray that is able to use all the wisdom he can muster to bring everybody together in his country. Unity is key. In a situation where there is no unity, then these coup attempts will continue to happen. And don't forget that several of the Francophone countries that we use to describe them, I know a lot of them now are trying to detach themselves from France, right now are under military grip. So that may be the attraction to the coup plotters, that, hey, okay, why can't we have, what is happening in Burkina Faso, in Mali, and other places. So, but Benin Republic being so close to Nigeria, for me, that was too close for comfort. I saw a statistic that says that Benin is populated by about 40% of Nigerians, and a lot of those Nigerians are Yoruba-speaking people. What we used to call the people, around Badagry, and some of them in the Okeogun, So, in fact, majority of their leaders speak Yoruba. You'll be surprised. Their former president, who I know quite well, Professor Yayiboni, speaks, Yoruba, and they are very, very much close to Nigeria. And you can see President Patrice Talon is very close to our own President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Nigeria, and that's why I believe Nigeria must have jumped at the opportunity to assist him yesterday in sending our Air Force bombers and everything.
Well, I know that Ayo also has questions for you. Ayo.
Well, thank you, Mark. Well, Chief, there's just one question that I asked earlier. On the one hand, many of these the coups that we've had happen on the, should I say, the upper part of the African continent, and the lower part seem to be coasting easy with their democracies and all of that. So on the one hand, what is that saying something to us? And secondly, there are those who have been wondering, and in all of these, military takeovers and interventions and all, nothing significantly has been heard from the African Union, leading to the question whether or not the African Union has teeth, or it's just a club of friends. Chief, could you kindly unmute?
Unmute?
Yes, please go ahead. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay. So, the truth is that we love in Nigeria to speak about, we're a sovereign nation, nobody should interfere in our affairs. Yes, the African Union, I'm sure they will speak by today. Yesterday was Sunday, so I'm not sure if anyone was at work. I'm sure they will speak today, but it will just be the usual diplomatics, and there's not much they can do. The intervention of Nigeria today is still quite sketchy, so I don't know what happened, who prompted it. They are saying that President Talon requested for help from Nigeria, so that is going to be a bit controversial. If you go on Twitter, X, platform, you will see a lot of people complaining that what is the business of Nigeria in intervening and bombing people who they describe as revolutionaries on Twitter. I don't know if they were revolutionaries or just military adventurers, So I don't know what African Union can do. You can see that even when our president spoke about intervening in the Nigerian Republic the other time, nothing came of it. At the end of the day, we just spoke and we couldn't do anything. So I'm sure we have to wait for this week to hear what the citizens will be able to say about what happened in the Republic. What we're hearing so far is from the angle of the government. So, but we're hoping that the opposition, for example, in the Republic, will be able to speak and let us know what exactly is ongoing in their country. For now, everything is sketchy.
All right, well, that's one. But how about the fact that, okay, maybe one other question we should be asking is, Is there any comparison then, in your opinion, from what you know, between the African Union and the European Union? The European Union is of course, said to be an economic power bloc, and it's like there are rules that every nation member, or rather every member nation of the EU, have to line up with. Do you see that kind of thing happening in Africa? And do you see that being capable of forestalling such military pushes from time to time?
You see, even at the level of ECOWAS, the unity we love to trumpet, for me, is just fake unity. There should be no reason why I should be driving through Aflao or through Ilakoji in Togo or through, all the other parts of West Africa, and I need a passport. We should be able to drive through like we do in Europe, I believe the African Union leaders will need to do better than they are doing right now. A lot of times in the past, before President Talon came, we had a lot of roadblocks between Nigeria and Benin Republic. So, and it discouraged a lot of us from traveling by road. We should be able to travel freely and enjoy and do business and, if possible, have the so-called common currency that they've always talked about. But nothing of the sort has happened. It's always about the jamboree of just holding African Union summits here and there. So your question is very germane. But I will say not much has been achieved by them. If you look at what President Gaddafi tried to do when he was head of the government in Libya, same thing with the Osagefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. They wanted an African Union that will have, similar passports, similar currencies, but nearly 60-something years after the Osagefo, not much has happened to them. It's still the usual summits. Let's just hope that maybe we will sit up, because it will help if they have a kind of cooperation and collaboration between the African countries. It will really, really help. And then maybe that would discourage further coups in Africa.
Let's start with the Republic of Benin. We've been discussing that all morning. And I said, yes, while I think that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu acted reasonably, and may well say, oh, okay, this is a threat at the border and we don't want collateral damage, but the law is the law. The Constitution of Nigeria does not give him powers to deploy troops, as he has done, to go to another country with Nigerian resources, whatever the justification may be. However, Section 305, sub 3, I think, 2.3, offer him, a way out. And that way out is that this morning, as I said earlier, before 12 noon, he should transmit a letter to the National Assembly to seek the ratification of the National Assembly at a joint session. The Constitution says joint session. It may sound legalistic, but that's what our law says. And if the National Assembly joint session says withdraw Nigerian troops, it will have no option but to withdraw them immediately, so as to prevent dictatorship, unilateral use of the powers of the commander-in-chief. That's the legal part. But the Nigerian part is that I like the fact that Nigeria has shown power, even if Talon has not acknowledged what we did. Now,